Pasa Calexico. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's a special episode. I normally don't record on Mondays, but over the weekend we lost Bush 41, and he was a really a champion of promoting equality and diversity. And this week it was kind of perfect because this week a lot of high schools across the nation are celebrating. What's it called?
It's called National Inclusive Schools Week.
Yeah. And my guest today is Ms Cami Sturdevant.
It's okay. It's a new last name, and it's really hard to say. Sturdevant.
Sorry. Yeah, it's because I've known you for so long.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yes. Since you were here.
Yeah. So, and I was thinking, what was a good way to kind of like celebrate his legacy, and at the same time promote this event this week.
Yes.
And another thing that you guys are doing, Circle of Friends.
Yes, Circle of Friends.
So tell us a little bit about what you do for the district. Sorry.
My official title is District School Psychologist. And usually school psychologists are doing assessments and evaluation to determine if a student might be eligible for or require some additional services, and one of those being special education services. But my role is a little bit different in that one of the great programs that I get to be in charge of is the Circle of Friends program.
Mm. And that's when I was thinking of, who can I talk to about, kind of like the event that's going on this week. And Circle of Friends, obviously, because you're one of the lead ambassadors, I guess, of this program.
Yeah.
And especially since I know that you deal with a lot of of our kids who have special needs or just like they need somebody to talk to, or they just feel like they I don't know, like they feel maybe alone or not
left out,
not included into the group. I thought of you because you're, I guess like the pro in this. Can you talk to us a little bit about, the inclusive school?
Yeah. So with Circle of Friends, it's basically a program for that was developed for students with disabilities, or just students that are often isolated, ignored, even invisible on a school campus. Maybe some of these kids eat lunch alone or aren't greeted. And so what we do is we pair a student with special needs with one or two peer friends, which would be from the general education population. And they commit to eating lunch with them at least once a week and doing other various activities like outdoor kind of sports activities. We recently went to the rodeo together. We're going to go to the fair together. So we do field activities and field trips together. And so one of the students who is in Circle of Friends, who is in a wheelchair, approached me and she just said, "Ms. Cami, can we do something for disability awareness?" And I knew that National Inclusive Schools Week was coming up. And so it was like, gosh, this would just be a great, culmination of the week. And so we kind of came up with different ideas and activities and things that are going on throughout this week at Calexico High School, and then finishing off with some disability awareness activities on Friday.
Okay. Because, National...
The Inclusive Schools Week.
Yeah, and I guess the theme for this year is kaleidoscope.
Yes.
So you don't know what a kaleidoscope is? Those things where you look and you see all these.
When you're a kid.
Yeah.
You twist it around.
It not only focuses on people with physical disabilities or mental. It's just in general, like it might be somebody that comes from a low-income family that doesn't have the money to buy the newest clothes or the newest shoes, and to me it's because for my kids I try to and focus that, and then that we're really like lucky that we have what we have, because when I grew, I tell them that when I grew up I wasn't rich or anything. I lived in low income homes, and I tell them my story, my friends' stories, and where we're at now, and that they should be grateful that they have what they have. So I kind of wanted to, kind of do this today because hopefully that there's parents out there that listen to this today, sit down with their kids tonight, to dinner tonight, and kind of like talk to them about if they know somebody that is feeling kind of down or is not part of the group. Maybe
Yes. Yeah. And thank you for that, Jose. I love that you're doing this and just bringing awareness, not only at Calexico High School, but within the community. And that is one thing that we strive to do through Circle of Friends too, is not just on the high school campus, just not on Tuesdays for lunch, but like, let's have that spill over into our homes, into our everyday activities, into our community. And one of the things that we're doing is that each day of this week is focusing just on one simple thing that the students can do. So like today, the teachers were encouraged to show a very short little video on just disability awareness and using person first language. So teaching the kids that it's not okay to say that autistic kid, that person is a person first. They're a student first. So it's okay to say that student who has autism or that little boy who is in a wheelchair. So that we're using that person first language and then encouraging the teachers to have a discussion about that after the video is shown. So yes, I would definitely encourage parents to do the same. That would be awesome.
How do you, talk to kids? Like for example, my kids, how would I talk, tell them, the correct way to approach, somebody that they see, eating by themselves or needing help with the door.
Yes. And that is one of them actually is Thursdays. We're watching a video that's called Include Someone New. So as you said, it's not just people with disabilities, but maybe someone who's new to the community who just moved here. And especially our students that might come from Mexico and this is their first time in the States, in the United States school system, a different language, different system, different uniform, different everything. Yeah. And it's just so hard. And a lot of the kids do feel isolated. And another day tomorrow is just be kind by saying hi. I mean, that is one thing that we get so into our, checking our own text messages or looking at our phone and we're walking with our heads down instead of actually making eye contact with people and just saying hi could make a difference. Wednesday is just smile at someone. I mean, you automatically smile at someone, it makes them smile back and that could make someone's day. And then Friday is empathy and just offer help. And so, and a lot of students that have disabilities will tell me that, I wish they wouldn't stare at me. I wish they would just ask me, how can I help you? Yeah. Instead of ignoring, looking away, not making eye contact, that this is actually a person that we need to be engaging with.
Yeah. Because I was trying to think of different ways to kind of like put examples as to other people that we might know, might relate to that. I feel that way. Like, for example, I was thinking of, somebody that's in the military that's traveling a lot. Mm-hmm. They go to different countries and they might not know the language, but somebody from, I don't know, let's say somebody's stationed in Okinawa. Somebody from that place might, come up to one of our, soldiers' kids and, kind of make them feel welcome. Right. I was trying to relate,
Yes, exactly. It just reaching out and offering a helping hand. And I think that as adults, but kids too, we're generally pretty selfish people. Like we want to do what we want to do when we want to do it. And I want shotgun in the car, front seat, and I want to watch what I want to watch on Netflix. And if we can just kind of get outside of our own little selfish bubble and really look, get our chins up out of our phones and really look around, there's so many needs. Yeah. There's so many people that aren't looked at and don't make eye contact and could go through the whole day without speaking a word. And that's really what we want to bring to the forefront is that man, it's easy to make eye contact with someone and just say hi or smile. And so we're not asking the kids to, give up having lunch every single day with your group of friends. But once a week, they can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that as adults,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and to me, like sometimes to me, like some of the kids in our school surprise me because I'll be walking around and like you said, like I'm always looking at my phone because
that's your job.
Yeah, like well, I mean, like because I'm looking at emails like, oh, I have to go to this room or this room, right? So I'm looking down and I like they'll say good morning or hi. I'm like, what, you're talking to me, like
it's huge.
Yeah, and again, it makes me like feel like wow, they're actually like because they're not. Sometimes you think like, oh, they're just messing around, but no, they're actually like saying
yeah,
good
they're
morning.
recognizing you and actually greeting you. That's awesome.
So, Circle of Friends is only here at our district, or
so no, it's actually a national program that was started in I think it was, let's see, I have it right, 1999. By a speech pathologist at Santa Monica High School. And since then it's expanded, to be a nationally known program. And we're in our third year here at Calexico High School. And I've been trained to be a trainer of trainers. And so I'm trying to get it at all of our school sites here in Calexico Unified. And we're still trying to get it going in a couple of schools, but it's in a lot of schools here already in the district. And also it's in a few schools in El Centro Elementary and in Imperial. Meadows School has that, for that little tiny school of 500 kids, they have like 3 or 4 different clubs or different programs, like from kindergarten on up. Oh. And so it's definitely an inclusive school. Yeah.
Well, to me, like it surprised me that one time you had the meeting and like the library was packed with kids that wanted to be part of the.
Yes. It's amazing that the kids really do want to serve and help. And I love it. We have to have parent permission because obviously we want the parents to know what their kids are involved in. And then the students that do have disabilities, we need to have their parents' permission to participate also. And I love to take pictures. And so we need to have permission, to have their pictures taken and, to promote the program. And yes, they commit to that, eating lunch at least once a week. So what we do here on this campus is that we eat outside because I don't want to further that isolation. I want it to be out where everybody else is eating lunch. And then if we're doing some kind of hands-on activity, like for Thanksgiving, we did this, activity, what are you thankful for? And so we went into the library for that. But last week, like our PE department is so supportive. And so we went outside and had like a cornhole tournament, so we're doing the beanbag toss. And so we're doing a bunch of different activities together.
And then is the prom is that's part of that thing too? Yeah,
that's a big deal. So we do have a special prom at the end of the year. And so we do the promposals because that's what, high school kids do. And so that's a really big deal that we have here on campus and everyone gets involved. And the ASB here, I just have to give a huge shout out for Shanna Panella and for Ellie Holloway. They're very supportive of Circle of Friends and helping us out. So we do work hand in hand with them. And Avid also, they host an awesome Christmas party for us. And so that'll be fun.
And then you said that Ms. Irales, my previous guest.
Yes. Oh, she's awesome. She dressed up as Tinkerbell because one of the kids, their favorite character is Tinkerbell. And so we had Tinkerbell help out as being part of that promposal. And she dressed up and was like the cutest, strongest Tinkerbell I've ever seen. but yeah, we've had a mariachi come on campus and for the promposal. One of our students wanted to be a police officer, so we had Calexico PD actually pulled a police car on campus, and over the loudspeaker they were like, "You are required to go to the prom." Like, oh, cool. Yeah, it was really really cute. So we've got a lot of support from outside agencies and then on campus as well. So
that's awesome. I didn't know about the whole cop and
yes, yeah, it was very cool.
So yeah, I know you have to go. I don't want to take more of your time, but thank you for sharing about Circle of Friends, about the stories that you guys have about the Circle of Friends, and is there anything else that you would like to add? And in terms of Circle of Friends, in terms of this week.
I would like to say that, like Circle of Friends did start just as this school, and trying to have this school be more inclusive of students with disabilities or just any kind of special need, any student that's isolated. And I really think that Calexico High School has done an awesome job. The students are very caring. They've done an awesome job of doing that. And these types of students are often the target of bullying. And so we have actually seen bullying decrease because what happens is that we talk about this whole bystander effect. And that's kind of emphasized in one of these videos that we're showing the kids throughout the week, is that they've done studies that if there's a group of people that's together and they see someone who's alone, isolated, struggling, maybe even needs help, that we are far less likely to offer help if we're in a group, because we think like, oh, maybe the guy next to me is going to go help, or I don't want to be embarrassed if I go help and they really don't need help. And so there's this whole group mentality. And so if it's like a group of 10 people, it'll take like up to 8 or 10 minutes for somebody to actually go and help. And if it's a group of 5 people, then the time decreases to about 3 minutes. But if it's one person and they see someone who's alone or needs help, they will respond usually within seconds. And so we want to teach the kids that too, that don't be a bystander. To go, and be that person that can make a change and make a difference and help, show empathy towards somebody. And that, as you mentioned, to have that just trickle over, not only on campus, but in our community. And I see that happening already through Circle of Friends program, where I've gotten calls from it's a national organization too on, it's called Playcore, and it's for inclusive parks. And so over by one of our newer elementary schools, they built a fully inclusive park because it's over by Cesar Chavez Elementary School. And so this company called me and asked if we could get some of our kids out there. So we had the Circle of Friends program from Rockwood and from Mainz, and that our special education department, Dennis Price, our director, is awesome. And yes, let's pay for the buses to get the kids over there. And we had the TV crews and all these people, to actually have kids with disabilities try these great new, like there's a zip line.
I live in that area.
Yeah. So, and you can actually get a wheelchair up into like this rocking boat. Wow. There's different, like kaleidoscope kind of things that show up on the ground for kids, like with some visual processing and sensitivity issues. And so that was awesome. But like a personal story that was shared with me is that one of our students that is in a wheelchair and has pretty significant disabilities was in the mall with his parents, and there was 2 boys that approached her son who's in a wheelchair and is nonverbal, uses technology and iPads to communicate. And these 2 boys came up to her son and were like, "Hey, how's it going?" And just talking to him. And she was kind of taken aback, like, "Wait a minute, like, who are you?" Very protective, of course. And so she asked the boys, she's like, "How do you know my son?" And they said, "Oh, we know him through Circle of Friends. Like, we're his buddy in Circle of Friends." And she said she just broke down crying because she's never had kids from the regular population actually approach her son in a public place and actually acknowledge him and say hi to him. And so it's stories like that I'm like, oh, I love it, because it's spilling out into the community. And it just says a lot about our kids here in Calexico, that if we give them the opportunity and teach them, that they'll do it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That gave me chills. That's crazy to hear that. And especially now that, our country is so divided. Like,
Yes.
it's kind of like nice to hear these kind of things.
Yes, there is good.
Yeah, exactly. And that little thing made that mom like
Just so happy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've had parents tell me that they have to now buy their son or daughter a cell phone because they actually have someone who wants to text them and send pictures to them that they've taken, in Circle of Friends, and that they've never had to do that because no one ever texts them, no one ever calls them. And so we have, some of our parents of the kids with special needs asking for phone numbers and wanting to invite them to their quinceañera or wanting to invite them over for a family event. And that's great too. That interaction goes way beyond our Tuesday lunches.
Yeah. Well, kudos to you and to all the kids that, participate in this group. And it's amazing stories. And is there any way that the community can help? Like,
money? No. It doesn't. I mean, I'm saying that jokingly, but man, if there's any organization, the Calexico Educational Foundation did supply us with some grant money that I applied for, and that's awesome. And also, our prisons have actually donated some money, and that's great. Our special education department has allocated monies, and there's various schools that the principals are very supportive and have allocated some LCAP dollars under school culture and school climate because of like the bullying, goes down and inclusion increases. And, but it does cost money to run these kind of programs. So yes, if there's any organization out there that's listening and, or just a person that would like to make a donation, we would love to have your support in that way.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I have to go, but yeah.
I so appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
It was my pleasure
to highlight this, and I love it. So I'm very grateful. Thank you.
It was my pleasure. I mean, these stories are just amazing. I still have the chills, and I love it. Yeah, I love that. There's kids out there that really do care, and
right,
and they do without hesitating.
Exactly, and I will say that I feel like sometimes the kids from the general population benefit more. I mean, our kids with special needs, of course, they love it. And they're like, it's Tuesday, Circle of Friends, But the kids from the general population just grow and learn. And I see a huge change in them as well.
All right. Well, and in the future, if you have anything that you want to like promote or anything, let me know. And
Thank you, Jose, so much.
You're welcome. And thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.